Day 14, Patriarchs, Genesis 27 through 28, Job 17 through 18, Proverbs 3 verses 1 through 4. Let's begin. Genesis 27:28. Now Isaac was old, and his eyes were cloudy, and so he was not able to see. And he called his elder son Esau, and he said to him, My son? And he responded, Here I am. His father said to him, You see that I am old, and I do not know the day of my death. Take your weapons, the quiver and the bow, and go out. And when you have taken something by hunting, make from it a small meal for me, just as you know I like, and bring it, so that I may eat and my soul may bless you before I die. And when Rebekah had heard this, and he had gone out into the field to fulfill his father's order, she said to her son Jacob, I heard your father speaking with your brother Esau, and saying to him, Bring to me from your hunting, and make me foods, so that I may eat and bless you in the sight of the Lord before I die. Therefore now my son, agree to my counsel, and go straight to the flock, and bring me 2 of the best young goats, so that from them I may make meat for your father, such as he willingly eats. Then, when you have brought these in and he has eaten, he may bless you before he dies. He answered her, You know that my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I am smooth. If my father should lay hands on me and perceive it, I am afraid lest he think me willing to mock him, and I will bring a curse upon myself, instead of a blessing. And his mother said to him, Let this curse be upon me, my son. Yet listen to my voice, and go directly to bring what I said. He went out, and he brought, and he gave to his mother. She prepared the meats, just as she knew his father liked. And she clothed him with the very fine garments of Esau, which she had at home with her. And she encircled his hands with little pelts from the young goats, and she covered his bare neck. And she gave him the small meal, and she handed him the bread that she had baked. When he had carried these in, he said, My father? And he answered, I am listening. Who are you, my son? And Jacob said, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you instructed me. Arise, sit and eat from my hunting, so that your soul may bless me. And again Isaac said to his son, How were you able to find it so quickly, my son? He answered, It was the will of God, so that what I sought met with me quickly. And Isaac said, Come here, so that I may touch you, my son, and may prove whether you are my son Esau, or not. He approached his father, and when he had felt him, Isaac said, The voice indeed is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he did not recognize him, because his hairy hands made him seem similar to the elder one. Therefore, blessing him, he said, Are you my son Esau? He answered, I am. Then he said, Bring me the foods from your hunting, my son, so that my soul may bless you. And when he had eaten what was offered, he also brought forth wine for him. And after he finished it, he said to him, Come to me and give me a kiss, my son. He approached and kissed him. And immediately he perceived the fragrance of his garments. And so, blessing him, he said, Behold, the smell of my son is like the smell of a plentiful field, which the Lord has blessed. May God give to you, from the dew of heaven and from the fatness of the earth, an abundance of grain and wine. And may the people serve you, and may the tribes reverence you. May you be the lord of your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down before you. Whoever curses you, may he be cursed, and whoever blesses you, may he be filled with blessings. Scarcely had Isaac completed his words, and Jacob departed, when Esau arrived. And he brought his father foods cooked from his hunting, saying, Arise, my father, and eat from your son's hunting, so that your soul may bless me. And Isaac said to him, But who are you? And he answered, I am your firstborn son, Esau. Isaac became frightened and very astonished. And wondering beyond what can be believed, he said, Then who is he that a while ago brought me the prey from his hunting, from which I ate, before you arrived? And I blessed him, and he will be blessed. Esau, having heard his father's words, roared out with a great outcry. And being confounded, he said, But bless me also, my father. And he said, Your twin came deceitfully, and he received your blessing. But he responded, justly is his name called Jacob. for he has supplanted me yet another time. My birthright he took away before, and now, this second time, he has stolen my blessing. And again, he said to his father, Have you not reserved a blessing for me also? Isaac answered, I have appointed him as your lord, and I have subjugated all his brothers as his servants. I have reinforced him with grain and wine, and after this, my son, what more shall I do for you? And Esau said to him, Have you only one blessing, father? I beg you, bless me also. And when he wept with a loud wail, Isaac was moved, and he said to him, In the fatness of the earth, and in the dew of heaven from above, will your blessing be? You will live by the sword, and you will serve your brother. But the time will arrive when you will shake off and release his yoke from your neck. Therefore, Esau always hated Jacob, for the blessing with which his father had blessed him. And he said in his heart, The days will arrive for the mourning of my father, and I will kill my brother Jacob. These things were reported to Rebekah. And sending and calling for her son Jacob, she said to him, Behold, your brother Esau is threatening to kill you. Therefore, now my son, listen to my voice. Rise up and flee to my brother Laban in Haran. And you will dwell with him for a few days, until the fury of your brother subsides, and his indignation ceases, and he forgets the things that you have done to him. After this, I will send for you and bring you from there to here. Why should I be bereaved of both my sons in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of hate. If Jacob accepts a wife from the stock of this land, I would not be willing to live. And so Isaac called for Jacob, and he blessed him, and he instructed him, saying, Do not be willing to accept a mate from the family of Canaan. But go, and journey to Mesopotamia of Syria, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and there accept for yourself a wife from the daughters of Laban, your maternal uncle. And may God Almighty bless you, and may He cause you to increase and also to multiply, so that you may be influential among the people. And may He give the blessings of Abraham to you, and to your offspring after you, so that you may possess the land of your sojourning, which He promised to your grandfather. And when Isaac had dismissed him, setting out, he went to Mesopotamia of Syria, to Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Syrian, the brother to Rebekah, his mother. But Esau, seeing that his father had blessed Jacob and had sent him into Mesopotamia of Syria, to take a wife from there, and that, after the blessing, he had instructed him, saying, You shall not accept a wife from the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob, obeying his parents, had gone into Syria, having evidence also that his father did not look with favor upon the daughters of Canaan. He went to Ishmael, and he took as a wife, beside those he had before, Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth. Meanwhile Jacob, having departed from Beersheba, continued on to Haran. And when he had arrived at a certain place, where he would rest after the setting of the sun, he took some of the stones that lay there, and placing them under his head, he slept in the same place. And he saw in his sleep a ladder standing upon the earth, with its top touching heaven, also the angels of God ascending and descending by it. And the Lord leaning upon the ladder, saying to him, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land in which you sleep, I will give to you and to your offspring. And your offspring will be like the dust of the earth. You will spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the meridian. And in you and in your offspring, all the tribes of the earth shall be blessed. And I will be your guardian wherever you will journey, and I will bring you back into this land. Neither will I dismiss you, until I have accomplished all that I have said. And when Jacob had awakened from sleep, he said, Truly, the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it. And being terrified, he said, How terrible this place is! This is nothing other than the house of God and the gateway of heaven. Therefore, Jacob, arising in the morning, took the stone which he had placed under his head, and he set it up as monument, pouring oil over it. And he called the name of the city, Bethel, which before was called Luz. And then he made a vow, saying, If God will be with me, and will guard me along the way by which I walk, and will give me bread to eat and clothing to wear, and if I will return prosperously to my father's house, then the Lord will be my God. And this stone, which I have set up as a monument, will be called the house of God. And from all the things that you will give to me, I will offer tithes to you. Job 17:18. My spirit will be wasted, my days will be shortened, and only the grave will be left for me. I have not sinned, yet my eye remains in bitterness. Free me, O Lord, and set me beside you, and let the hand of anyone you wish fight against me. You have set their heart far from discipline, therefore they will not be praised. He promises prey to his companions, but the eyes of his sons will grow faint. He has posted me like a proverb to the people, and I am an example in their presence. My eyesight has been clouded by indignation, and my limbs have been reduced, as if to nothing. The just will be astounded over this, and the innocent will be stirred up against the hypocrite. And the just will cling to his way, and clean hands will increase strength. Therefore, be converted, all of you, and approach, for I do not find in you any wisdom. My days have passed away, my thoughts have been scattered, tormenting my heart. They have turned night into day, and I hope for light again after the darkness. If I should wait, the underworld is my house, and in darkness I have spread out my bed. I have said to decay and to worms, you are my father, my mother, and my sister. Therefore, where is my expectation now, and who is it that considers my patience? Everything of mine will descend into the deepest underworld. Do you think that, in that place at least, there will be rest for me? But Baldad the Suhite responded by saying, how long will you throw around words? Understand first, and then let us speak. Why have we been treated like mules, as if we were unworthy before you? You, who ruins your own soul in your fury, will the earth be forsaken because of you, and will the cliffs be moved from their place? Will not the light of the impious be put out, and the flame of his fire refuse to shine? Light will become darkness in his tabernacle, and the lamp that is over him will be extinguished. His strong steps will be constrained, and his own counsel will cast him down uncontrollably. For he has caused his own feet to go into a net, and he has walked into its web. His heel will be held in a snare, and thirst will rage against him. A trap has been hidden for him in the earth, and a decoy along his path. Horrifying things will terrify him everywhere, and will entangle his feet. Let his strength be diminished by famine, and let starvation invade his ribs. Let it devour the beauty of his skin, let the ancient death consume his arms. Let his confidence be torn away from his tabernacle, and let ruin trample over him like a king. Let the companions of he who is not dwell in his tabernacle, let brimstone rain down upon his tabernacle. Let his roots be dried up from beneath him, and his harvest be crushed from above. Let the memory of him perish from the earth, and let not his name be celebrated in the streets. He will expel him from light into darkness, and he will remove him from the world. Neither his offspring, nor his descendants, will exist among his people, nor will there be any remnants in his country. The last will be astonished at his day, and the first will be overcome with horror. And so, these are the tabernacles of the sinful, and this the place of he who does not know God. Proverbs 3 verses 1 through 4. My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart guard my precepts. For they shall set before you length of days, and years of life, and peace. Let not mercy and truth abandon you, encircle them around your throat, and inscribe them on the tablets of your heart. And so shall you discover grace and good discipline, in the sight of God and men.